everybody, I'm Caitlin Classing, and I'm back with the third vlog for Cryptonite, aka Indy, owned and bred by Jackie Bell. And when last we spoke, Indy was about 60 days back in work from her winter holiday, and she's now 60 days beyond that. So we had been trying to sort of reset the boundaries for her leg and hand, and trying to work towards creating a line of communication in between those two aids. And how her training has progressed since then has brought up a really interesting dichotomy for us as horse trainers, where on the one hand we need to be very confident in our approach and be the strong, confident leader that these young horses need us to be, but on the other hand we need to be always listening for feedback from the horses when the training is not going as expected. So we'll talk you through how Indy's progressed, what happens when we kind of hit these hurdles in our training, and what we can expect from her going forward. So when I say we hit hurdles, it sounds very dramatic, and it's really not, but what I mean is that to me in this video, Indy is not a happy horse. And when I see a horse that's in our program, that's in work, that is not happy, then it's time to start to integrate other views of that horse to start to get a more complete picture of what's going on. So my first call was to her breeder and owner, Jackie Bell, and we were able to talk through my experiences of training her and working with her, and Jackie's experiences of breeding her, owning her, knowing her whole life, and having ridden her herself. And so Jackie was able to shed some light on her, and she did also say that she'd had somebody come out and do some body work on her, and that had been really beneficial to her previously. So that was something that we decided that we wanted to move ahead with. And we did also go ahead and have a vet just put hands on her, do some blood work, run hands over her, just to sort of say that there was no red light for her to progress in her training. And there wasn't, but at any time that we see a horse that's just not happy in their life, we want to get to the bottom of it and kind of figure out why. So we're really lucky that we have a great relationship with Jackie, and she's totally on board with making sure that Indy is as happy in her life as she can be and becomes sort of a productive member of society. I think there's a great meme on Facebook that says, teach your horses well and you'll never have to worry about them. And that's very true for these horses. We want them to be successful in whatever they do in life. So here, this is the first ride after Jackie's bodywork person had come out and worked on Indy. And as you saw in the last video, she was tight in her body, very reluctant to move into the contact, and just pretty unhappy. But here, I was really impressed that she was much more willing to move across her whole body, much more willing to work out to the contact, and just in general was feeling more like the horse that we know she is. As much as we may like to joke about Indy being a sassy sort of dominant mare, which she is, she's also very personable in the barn, really likes to have people around, sort of always standing at the front of her stall, interested in what's going on around her. And so it doesn't match her personality to be as resistant under saddle as she. And that said, it's also important to note that with a mare who has a more dominant personality like Indy does, it's never our job to tell her how she's allowed to feel. She can feel however she wants, but it is our job to consistently show up and create boundaries for her that hopefully can create a sense of trust and mutual respect, that then she starts to work a little bit more willingly on our side when she starts to understand that every day she's going to show up and I will be the same. So the expectations on her are the same. And she's always allowed to, if she wants to have a pin of her ears or a swish of her tail or kind of give me a little bit of an opinion, that's fine. But what we do want is for her to be happy in her work. And you can see here we're starting her a little bit over fences. I think I said in the last vlog that we wouldn't be in a rush to start her over fences or start taking her off property until we really have this leg to hand line of communication confirmed. And that's still very much the case, but she is getting to a point now where the jumping is good to keep her mentally interested in her work, and sort of good feedback for where she's at in her flat work. And I would still say we're not in a big rush to get her off the property, and in speaking with Jackie, we're all very happy to let Indy set the pace of her training. And I always say, when we start taking these young horses places before they're ready to do so, or before you have a way to talk them through different situations, it's a little bit like strapping yourself to a baby dinosaur and hoping for the best. And honestly, I'm not that brave or that stupid anymore. But really, it's not fair to Indy to expect her to go into situations where naturally she's going to be nervous, but we don't have a way to talk her through it. So we're excited to keep you informed of how Indy progresses, and we're looking forward to keeping her happy in her work and taking all of the information that Jackie and I have kind of gained over the last 2 months and creating a full picture of Indy going forward.